So what do I mean when I say make a habit out of self? Well, let's talk about it. So as I was developing the heart habits, it did always keep coming back to like, okay, I can do these things if I feel within myself that it's right, if it's good. I can do these things, I can make these choices if myself can buy into the process or be a part of the process, right? And that was my big problem with capitalism, was that ultimately I was continually denying what felt right to me in my body, in my heart, in my spirit, in favor of the things that capitalism wanted me to do: firing people, laying people off, making certain budget decisions, etc., right? And it was hard to continue making those decisions without being able to tap in with myself and see, how do I go about this in a way that makes me feel right and okay? Maybe not good. Everything doesn't always feel good, right? But things can feel aligned all the time. So when I talk about self as a habit, I'm really talking about a very intentional effort of diving into what matters to you, what is important to you, how do you move, how do you operate, what are your wishes and dreams, what do you think about, how do you think about those things, right? And this has to be the number one habit of growing, of transforming, because you are the only you in the whole wide world. In this time and space dimension, you're the only one in that body that can bring your personal experience in life to our collective. All right? It's only you. So if you're acting out of accordance with who you are and yourself and what your spirit is telling you, then you are not giving the collective your best self. You're not giving you your best self. And then we are not going to achieve the big goals that we have to achieve. So I talk specifically about 4 areas of self that I like to encourage people to think about. The first one is literally your strengths. Like, what are your actual strengths? Now, we often talk about, oh, you should know your weaknesses too. But I say, fuck that. We all have weaknesses or areas that are not our strengths. That's fine. Don't focus on those. Focus exclusively on what your strengths are. I have a lot of tools I've talked about on my little site. You can definitely go check those out. But there's a lot of tools to help you get to know more about your strengths and kind of what makes you tick. I love tools like human design and astrology and maybe Myers-Briggs personality things. And the next thing I talk about knowing about yourself is your shadows. We all have shadows. We've all been through different types of trauma, and even just living in the United States and going through, being taught to believe the lies that we're taught to believe. That's kind of some traumatic stuff. So we all have shadows, and it's important to dive into what that is, because your shadows affect how you interact with the world around you. The third thing I like to talk about with regard to yourself and an effort that you need to really make is to thinking about your boundaries. And I've been talking about that a lot this season, as the holidays often are a time when those boundaries come into play quite a bit. But you've got to think about your boundaries and what boundaries will help you best move through your purpose in life and accomplish the things that you have found a desire to accomplish inside of yourself. And the final, but I will not say least important part of the habit of self, or the habit of understanding that everything kind of flows through you, is your spirituality, right? Like, I am, as I often say, not really probably anymore a Christian. I'm more of agnostic. But there is still spirituality that we each are facing. Even as an atheist, you are connected to the world around you. So whether you call it God or whether it's a scientific thing for you, the truth is the way that oxygen comes into our body, flows into all of our bloodstream and helps keep us alive. And then we take out, we expel carbon dioxide, which feeds the trees, and then that all works back together for us. This means we are connected with everything in the universe. And as a connected being in the universe, it's important that we pay attention to how those connections are and whether or not we're nurturing them well. So here is the habit in its full glory. Number 1, self. I am an exquisite and unique being. Everything flows through me, and I know, love, and respect the vessel I live in. Your experience on this planet can only be perceived through your own perception, right? You cannot live your life through anyone else's perception of that life. It has to go through you. So it's important that you understand everything about your vessel, the vessel that you live in, to be able to use it to the maximum, and also to be able to live the life that you really are intended and can live on this earth. So, number one heart habit is self. And the mantra that goes with it is, I am an exquisite and unique being. Everything flows through me, and I know, love, and respect the vessel I live in. If you were to say that mantra right now and feel like that is not true, then my recommendation would be continue to say that mantra over and over and over every day, many times a day if you can, until you can understand and believe the truths that are in that statement. And eventually, as you're saying it, you will actually believe that to be true. You are an exquisite and unique being. Everything in this planet, in this universe, flows through your perception of it. And you deserve to know, love, and respect the vessel that you live in. All right? I love you.